May we pay our respect to our teacher, most venerable Kiribadguru Jnanananda Thera. May this homage be to our teacher. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, today also we are going to learn a new sutta, and I will be asking questions, so you can unmute your mics and answer the question. So it's more interactive. I think that's better than me speaking and you listening. So as you understand, you can tell me what you think. What is the most, what's the grave problem we are facing in this life? What is our most difficult problem that we are facing at the moment? The worst, as you understand. In our life, what is the danger that we are facing, that we should be worried of? Yes, Ray?
Wrong view. Thinking of self, can't see past that.
Okay, that's it. One view, that's one answer, one opinion. So what else? Anyone else? What is the danger we face in this life?
Old age, sickness,
Okay.
and death.
Okay. That's another answer.
Suffering.
Still I have not found the answer I'm looking for.
Suffering.
Okay.
Suffering.
Suffering.
Suffering. Aging.
Aging, sickness, death.
And death.
Sorrow, lamentation.
And
Having to part with our loved ones.
And to depart with.
Yeah. Not getting what we want in life.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, the 5 aggregates of clinging Buddha pointed out as suffering. Okay. So that is of course a problem for us humans and all beings, that is there. But there is something that goes beyond that, that why we should be very heedful in practicing Dhamma. There's a reason for that. It is very important that we understand and we be mindful of that. We instill that in our minds. That's very important to know that. So that's what helps us to arouse effort to practice the Dhamma, to be diligent in the practice. Okay, of course we die. What happens after that we die? Okay.
Go to another place, go to hell.
Yeah.
Go to another realm.
So like,
hopefully
if you are born in the heaven, if you are born in heaven, then it's okay. No, it's better than the human world. If you are born in the Brahma world, it's even better. So why worry?
We have a chance of being reborn in the bad worlds. We have a chance of being reborn in bad worlds.
That's the problem. That we are more inclined to be born in the hell, the ghost world, the animal world, the titans world. That's the risk. That's the danger. We have to understand that first. So that is why we have to be heedful in the practice of the Dhamma. Because Buddha say in this samsaric journey, more often than not, we have been born in the 4 bad destinations. Rarely are we born among humans, or in the Devas world, or even more rarely in the Brahma world. That we have to understand. So that is our danger, that is the predicament, that the inclination, the tendency for us to be born in the 4 plagues of misery. So if we understand that, that is why we practice to escape that. Say the first benefit of practicing the path, the first fusion of the path, when you become a stream entrant, what happens? What is the result of that? What is the benefit there?
Huh?
So they don't have to come back to the realms, to the poor
destinations. You will not be reborn in the 4 bad destinations anymore. So you have that guarantee that you will never be born there. And within 7 lives, you will realize the Four Noble Truths completely and attain Nibbana. That is the guarantee you have. If you realize, if you become a stream entered, that is. So that you have to understand. That is why Buddha gave a very beautiful simile to emphasize that fact. He took a few drops of water from the sea and pointed out, monks, see what is more, these few drops of water or the water of the ocean? The monk said, of course, the volume of water in the great oceans is much more. Then Buddha said, monks, likewise, if you were to attain the fruition of stream entry, become a Sotapanna disciple, the volume of suffering that you have eradicated is like the waters of the four great oceans. What is left is these few droplets of water. So that is the benefit of achieving stream entry. So that is why we have to be heedful in the practice. Or else think, now that means we are open to a suffering as huge, as such a volume as the four, like the water of the four great oceans. And Buddha also said the tears we have shed in the samsaric journey, he likened them to the volume of water we find in the ocean. That much of tears we have shed in this samsaric journey. So that we have to understand that is the woeful cycle of rebirth. We come in this samsaric journey over and over again. We are reborn. And more often than not, we are born in the four bad destinations. Rarely we are born among humans. So that is why we have to be heedful in this practice, so we can reap the benefits of the Buddha's teachings in this life. So Buddha first showed us the problem, that is suffering is the problem we all face. And then Buddha also pointed out the cause. He didn't say like this is suffering and you have to suffer. No, he gave us a solution. He showed us the cause of suffering. What is the cause of suffering? It is a craving. Then he also clearly pointed out the cessation of suffering. What is the cessation then? If the cause is craving, what is the cessation? What is the cessation of suffering?
Ignoble paths.
At the end of craving.
Yeah, the end of craving.
The end of
You have to
craving.
eradicate the craving. And Buddha pointed out a path to do that. What is that? The Noble Eightfold Path. So now you have clearly the problem is pointed out. Then the solution is pointed out. And what you have to do to solve the problem, the way you should do, is pointed out clearly in the teachings of the Buddha. So what is the solution then? Solution is practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. So today we are going to learn how to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. That is what this sutta is about. So this sutta is the Majjhima Nikaya, the middle length discourses of the Buddha. The name of the sutta is the Great 40. So where is Mahacattarisaka Sutta? That is the name of the sutta that we are going to learn today. So in this sutta, Buddha talks about 10 tenets of the path. Normally there are 8 tenets. No, we are familiar with the 8 tenets. So a trainee would have, once he begin the practice, he begin to cultivate these 8 tenets, 8 aspects of the path. When you become an arahant, then you have the other 2, 9 and 10. That we call Samma Jnana and Samma Vimukti. That is right knowledge and right liberation. So up to that point, we should cultivate within our lives the other aspects of the path. So it all begins with right view, said Buddha. Right view is the base, the beginning point. So anyway, we will be learning of the 10 aspects of the path. And with regard to each fact, what you have to do. Okay. So like there are 4 aspects with regard to each of the tenets of the path. Then 4 into 10, it's 40. That's why it is called the Great 40. Oh, Mahacattarisaka Sutta in Pali. So this is how it is in Sutta. So Buddha was living in Jetavana, the Anathapindika's park at that time. So Buddha addressed the monks, bhikkhus. Venerable Sir, the bhikkhus replied back, because I shall teach you noble right concentration. What you call Arya Samadhi, noble right concentration. That's what Buddha is going to teach about. Noble right concentration with its supports and its requisites. So if you many people want to develop right Samadhi, you know. So if you want to develop Samadhi, it is a result of certain factors. There has to be the supporting conditions. If the supporting conditions are not there, you will not achieve right concentration. And here Buddha points out what are the supporting conditions. What are the things you have to cultivate if you want to attain the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and the fourth jhana. Likewise, if you want to develop concentration, samadhi, you have to have these supporting conditions. So Buddha in this say points out the requisites, that is right view, right intention, right speech, right actions, right livelihood, right mindfulness. Buddha then goes on to say unification of mind equipped with these 7 factors is called noble right concentration. So if you don't cultivate these 7 factors, then you will never achieve right concentration. A person may wish to have samadhi, but if he doesn't develop these qualities, he will never achieve samadhi. So if you want to develop a state of samadhi, then focus your attention on these qualities that we are going to learn today. These are practical qualities you can develop in your life on your own, because this is something you do personally. Then Buddha goes on to point out, daring bhikkhus, right view comes first. So it all begins with right view. So Buddha gave a beautiful simile to right view. What is that? Just before the sunrise, we see a faint light, no, in the east. A yellow color, maybe a bright red. So a colorful light we see just before the sunrise. We call that in Sinhala Arunodaya, no? So because of that light, then we know for sure then in the moment the sun would rise. We know that for sure. Likewise, our life is covered with ignorance. It's in total darkness. So when a person realizes the Four Noble Truths for the first time, that means when he achieves stream entry, that is like that light just before sunrise, then surely he will fully one day realize the Four Noble Truths and totally dispel the ignorance in his life. So that is why Buddha used that simile for the right view. Because right view brings light to our lives. It dispels the ignorance, sheds the darkness. So right view is the primary aspect that we have to cultivate. Okay? And Buddha points out, how does right view comes first? Buddha goes on to say, one understand wrong view as wrong view and right view as right view. This one's right view. This is one's right view. So possessing the right view means your ability to discern exactly this is right view, this is wrong view. So that skill to discern between the right and the wrong, that is right view, or we call Sammaditthi in Pali. Okay, is that clear? So what is right view? The ability to discern between the right view and the wrong view. So then, and what bhikkhus is wrong view? Buddha goes on to teach us what is wrong view. Wrong view is tenfold. There are 10 aspects to it, okay? That is, that person believes there is nothing given. That is, there is no results of giving. He doesn't believe in giving and sharing. He doesn't believe in puja, like we offer things to the Buddha and we pay our veneration, our respect, and we accrue merits by that way. He doesn't believe in that. He said it's a waste. Why go worship to Buddha? Why offer incense to him? Why offer food to him? Why offer flowers to the stupas, to the bodhi trees? He thinks it's in vain. So is that right to you? No, that's wrong view. Because by doing you, so you accrue merits. He doesn't believe that there is good karma accumulated by doing that. He doesn't practice generosity. He don't believe in that. So that is wrong view. And he doesn't believe that by doing your whatever job you are doing, whatever service you are doing, that you can accrue merits. He doesn't believe that you can accrue merits by doing your job properly, doing it in a responsible manner, doing it with kindness, compassion. You acquire merit. He doesn't believe in that. He thinks it's something you just do to earn your living. No, but if you do it properly, if you are committed to your service, your job, or whatever you do, if you do it with loving kindness as a service, with compassion and kindness, with commitment, due commitment, then you acquire merits. If you don't believe in that, that's a wrong view. Okay? Then what else? He doesn't believe the results of good and bad, that if you do a good deed, then there are good results. If you do bad deeds, then there are the bad consequences. So in this way, if you do not believe in the consequences, that there will be consequences, then you will do anything, good or bad. You, in your life, you will acquire a lot of demerits. You don't care. You don't care of the consequences. And there are such people in this world. They have that belief. That's a wrong view. And they don't think of their actions by body, speech, or mind. They just do it. Whatever that comes to their mind, they don't fear the consequences. They are not shameful of it either, or they don't fear it. Because they don't believe that there are going to be repercussions, that it will come back and they will suffer. They don't believe in that. That is also a wrong view. What else? Then he doesn't believe in this life. He doesn't believe in the next life. Doesn't believe in this life means he doesn't believe that we have come to this life according to our past karma, that we are the heir of our own karma. It is our actions by body, speech, and mind that brought us to this life. He doesn't believe in that. And he doesn't believe there is a next life, that according to whatever karma we acquire, accrue, in this life that we will be reborn again. He doesn't believe. So as you can understand, when a person doesn't believe in these things, then he lose all the conducive environment to do good, to develop the wholesome. And he inadvertently, like naturally, what happens is he will be developing the unwholesome in his life. That's what happens. Because all the environment for developing the wholesome is based upon these 10 qualities that, but a person with wrong view, he always is against these 10. He doesn't believe in them. So in this way, he doesn't believe of this life or the next life. That is also a wrong view. Then he doesn't believe there is a special person. That mother is a special person. Your father is a special person. He doesn't believe in that. But Buddha said, mother and father are very special. Buddha once said, if you do not properly treat your mother, you will accrue a lot of demerits in your life. If you do not properly treat your father, then again, you acquire a lot of demerits. Likewise, then Buddha went on to say, if you do not properly respect the Buddha, you accrue a lot of demerits. If you do not properly treat the Sangha, then again you acquire a lot of demerits, said the Buddha. In the sutta, he first mentioned of mother, then father, then Buddha, then only the Sangha. So that means if a person doesn't treat their parents properly, he will never respect the Buddha. He will never respect the Sangha. So it all begins by respecting your parents. Why? That is gratitude for what they have done for you. They are the ones who raised you. They are the ones who brought you to this life. They are the ones who taught you the right and the wrong. Now you may not remember that, how they cared for you, how they nurtured you, how they looked after you. But you can understand that by looking how, you can see, look around and see how parents care for the newly born, because you don't remember your younger years now, because you are elderly. But see how parents care for the infants, the newborns. That's how you were once. You were like that once. For 10 months, you were in the mother's womb. And she was so very careful to protect you once you were in the womb and also once you were born to this world. Because you are so fragile, so insecure. And day and night they cared for you. So aren't they special? They are special. So that is why in our culture, we always call them father or mother, amma or tata. Do we call them by a first name, by their first name? No, we never should do that. Should never do that. We have to pay them due respect because they are special. It is because they are special that if you kill either your mother or father, that is one of the 5, they are considered as what? Grave acts, heinous acts. Anantari papakam, we say. That means thereafter, if you kill your father or mother, straight away you are born in hell for an young spirit. That's why? Because they are special. If you kill an arahant, if you shed the blood of the Buddha with an evil intention, likewise, if you were to kill your father or mother, you are straight away born in the hell world. Hell, because for a eon's time, because they are special, unique characters. So if you don't believe in that, if you believe that we are just a result of their enjoying life, then that is a wrong view. So then the other wrong view is that not believing in spontaneous birth. If you don't believe in spontaneous birth, what does that mean? What does that mean if you don't believe in spontaneous birth? Someone say?
We don't believe in ghosts and the heavenly beings, the beings in hell, Bante.
Yeah, correct. So then we disregard all those existence. The Brahmaverse, the heavenly verse, the hell verse, they are all born of what? Spontaneous rebirth. So they don't believe in hell. Then they don't believe in the ghosts. Then they don't believe in the devas. So that means they don't believe in the path leading to this existence either. So that is the danger there. Because Buddha clearly pointed out, he say Buddha is called Sattha Deva Manusana. No? What does that mean? Teacher of both gods and humans. Then it's clear. There are the gods. The heavenly worlds are there. Just because you can't see doesn't mean they don't exist. But if you practice the path, then you can see for yourself one day. Because when you develop samadhi and you purify your mind, you can have the divine ear, divine sight through which you can communicate with these beings. So if you do not believe in the spontaneous rebirth, that is a wrong view. Then the 10th wrong view is he doesn't believe that there are ascetics and Brahmins who have actually recluses who have realized the true nature of this world and teach of it. That is like the Buddha and Buddha's disciples who have realized the Dhamma and they teach this is how it happens. Like in the case of the Buddha taught us about in the Devaduta Sutta of the hell worlds and how beings suffer there. That's Buddha's realization. If a person with wrong view, he say, look, how can we believe? We can't see the hell worlds. So his wrong view is he doesn't understand that there is more to life, more to the world than meets the eye. Because everything we experience and understand in this life is through our interactions with the outer world. And the scope of our six senses are limited. It is only if you develop your mind further, that you open up your senses to such an extent that you can actually see beyond sight to direct knowledge. That is irdhi. We say irdhi vijnana, supernatural powers, superhuman qualities through which you can see how beings are reborn again once they pass away and they are reborn in next life. We call Chutupapata jnana. The knowledge of seeing how beings pass away and are reborn. And you can see past lives, Ubbe Nivasanussati jnana, how we fared on in this samsaric journey from one life to the another. For many eons, endless journey in the samsara, you can see for yourself. So in the practice, this is the base. So to have to not have these wrong views, to believe that these are true, that is the base, the foundation upon which you believe. If you believe in these 10 aspects, believing in them is right view. We call it mundane right view, that is discussed here. And here Buddha says, and what bhikkhu is right view? Right view, I say, is twofold. There is right view that is affected by tenets, partaking of merit. That means when you have that right view, when you act upon it, you acquire merits. And ripening in the acquisitions, that means then you will have results of those merits, good results. And there is right view. That is one type of right view. That is what we call mundane right view. Then there is the super mundane aspect of right view. That is the right view that is noble, taintless, a fact of the path. That means when you become a stream entrant, you have right view that is based on a realization. Before that, you have the mundane right view. Mundane right view is, Buddha points out, is that he believes in giving and sharing. He believes in offerings. He believes in service. He believes you can acquire merits by doing a job properly. And he believes in the results of good and bad actions. He believes in this world. He believes in the next world. He believes father and mother are special persons. He believes in spontaneous birth. He believes there are Brahmins, recluses who have realized the nature of this world and they can teach you that there is something beyond what we see in this world. So this is the like building blocks you have to cultivate in your life. If you believe in these things, then the practice becomes easy. If you lack in these things, the practice becomes difficult, or like you cannot practice or progress or develop. So it is very important that you try to grow your confidence, base your confidence, your faith, instill your faith in these 10 aspects, because that is mundane right view. That is where it all begins, to have these 10 qualities. Without basing or cultivating yourself, these 10 qualities in yourself, you will not be able to progress in the path. What are these 10? Can someone repeat them? The 10 aspects that you have to firmly instill it in yourself in the practice. If you are to progress in the noble path, it all begins here. What is that?
That is
Giving
the
and sharing.
yes, giving. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I believe in puja, offering to Buddha. Believe in good deeds to produce a good results. To believe in this life, next life, past life, in order to develop wholesome action. Believe in special person, father, mother.
Yeah.
Believe in spontaneous rebirth. Believe in ascetics and Brahmins, teachers in this world.
That's
Believe
it.
in to do this job. Is it 10 already? I think it's 8 only or 7.
That's 10 actually.
It's
If you
10
count,
already?
yeah. You have, how many have you got down? 7?
I count only 7.
Okay, right. Like I'll tell in an order. Okay, order. If you can write down if you have missed any. So first it is that you believe there is result in dana, giving alms. Okay. Then you believe there are results in offerings. Then you believe that there is you can acquire merit through service that you believe in. Then what else? Then there are results of the good and the bad actions you do. Okay. Then you believe there is this world. That's one. Then there is the next world. And you believe there is special person as mother, special person as father. Then you believe in spontaneous rebirth. Then you believe in that the recluses and Brahmins are there who have actually realized the life. Then I think you get 10. Okay? So you have to first have confidence in this thing. And if you lack any confidence, if you then you have to learn the Dhamma more and more and base yourself firmly in this, because this is very important, the mundane aspects of the right way. So if you have this, then you will do good deeds. Then you will give dana. No? Because you believe in the results. And then you give dana properly because you believe there are the actions of good and bad karma. So you give in a way that you want to receive. If you there is a way we want to receive. If we are delighted by the things that are given to we, and then we believe in that. Then we also want to give people in a way that they get delighted. So we will not give things that are old, things that we have used. So anything we give away, we will give them fresh clothes. If it's clothes, new clothes. If if we are giving food, the best food we can afford. Why? We believe there are the results of giving. So likewise, there is a conducive environment for you to foster wholesome qualities. If you believe in this thing, then you will respect your father and mother. You will respect the Buddha and the Sangha. You will offer dana to the Sangha, pay homage to the Buddha. Likewise, you can acquire a lot of merits. And you will respect the Sangha because they teach the Dhamma, a realization that goes beyond these worldly things. Likewise, then you have certain qualities that help you to develop wholesome qualities. The Noble Eightfold Path is all about developing skillful actions by body, speech, and mind. Good wholesome qualities. That is what practicing Dhamma is. To practice the Dhamma means to develop good qualities, humane qualities. In the end, when you do so, by doing so, gradually you eradicate all the defilements. So, how you do is taught clearly in this sutta. So, first you have to base yourself in the 10 mundane aspects of the right view. Then Buddha goes on to show us, and what bhikkhus is right view, that is noble, taintless, super mundane, the fact of the path. So this is super mundane. The fact of the path means this is the right view you acquire when you become a stream entrant. Okay. When you become a stream entrant. That is the wisdom, the faculty of wisdom, the power of wisdom, the investigating of states, enlightenment factor, the path factor of right view in one whose mind is noble, whose mind is taintless, who possess the noble path and is developing the noble path. This is right view that is noble, taintless, supermundane, a fact of the path. That means once you become stream entered, you have entered the path. Then you possess a faculty of wisdom that is ingrained. That means that is part and parcel of you, just like your senses. That is always there to guide you. Because until then, you can't clearly, for sure, discern this is right and this is wrong. At times, you will decide this is right, but in fact, it is wrong. So you get this ability to discern with wisdom what is wholesome and unwholesome skillfully only when you have the super mundane right view. That means when you become a stream entrant, when you have entered the path. A person who has the mundane qualities of the right view, who develop and foster and cultivate those 10 qualities, will in turn achieve right view, that is super mundane. That helps you to discern between good and bad. So it all begins with the right view. So then Buddha goes on to say, one makes an effort to abandon wrong view and to enter upon right view. This is one's right effort. So it is, you have to arouse the effort to abandon the wrong views. If you have wrong views, we discussed before, you have to arouse effort to abandon them and to instill yourself, ground yourself in the right view. So how do you do it? You do it mindfully. Buddha said, mindfully one abandons wrong view. Mindfully one enters upon and abides in right view. Then there has to be, first thing, effort, then there has to be mindfulness. So first you arouse effort and mindfully you abandon wrong view and mindfully you cultivate right view. That is what is right mindfulness. Thus, these three states run and circle around right view. That is right view, right effort, and right mindfulness. So that is right view, right effort, and right mindfulness is always supporting you to develop right view. To cultivate and develop right view, there has to be right view, there has to be right mindfulness and right effort. That is why Buddha in the beginning, very beginning, he said, no, right view comes first. And how does right view come first? One understand wrong view as wrong view and right view as right view. This is one's right view. So first you have to have right view to discern between what is right and wrong. Then you have to arouse the effort to abandon the wrong views and instill yourself in the right view. So you do so mindfully. If you do not have mindfulness, you can't discern. Mindfully you understand, oh, this is my wrong view. This is right view that I have to cultivate. So I have to abandon this. And you have to develop this. That you do with effort. Then there is right effort, right mindfulness, and there is right view. So always Buddha here says, these three states run and circle around right view. That is right view, right effort, and right mindfulness. See that clear? Any questions up to that point? No? Okay. Then right intention. How to develop? Then Buddha discusses about right intention. Okay. There in bhikkhus, right view comes first. Again, right view has to be there if you want to develop right intention. And how does right view come first? One understand wrong intention as wrong intention and right intention as right intention. If you don't have right view, you can't discern between the right and wrong intention. And what bhikkhus is wrong intention? The intention of sensual desire, the intention of ill will, and the intention of cruelty. So the desire for sensual pleasures, what's that? That's wrong intentions. So you have to think of your own life. If you are only desirous of the sensual pleasures, the things you see, hear, taste, and derive comfort from, the smells, the tangibles, all of that. So if your sole focusing life is amassing sensual pleasures, going after the sensual pleasures, indulging in the sensual pleasures, that's what you are cultivating, you're developing wrong intentions. That will not help you to progress in the path. That you have to understand. So because nowadays, that's the sole focus in a person's life. And everything you find and come across nowadays, the worldly pleasures are based on the sensual pleasures. Everything. So you have to be very mindful. You have to have the effort, the mindfulness to understand and abandon and to restrain yourself from overly indulging in sensual pleasures. Then there are the intention of ill will, anger. If you get angry, that's what? That's the wrong intention. That is the wrong path. You are giving in to the wrong intentions. You have to understand. Then the intention of cruelty. If you wish to harm others in any way, even by thought, it may not be an action, but you think of harming. Again, it becomes right intention because it is an intention that you might or might not act upon. So they are wrong intentions, the thought of harming others, even to speak harshly, think of doing so, to scheme to do so. They are all wrong intentions. So you have to in this way understand these are wrong intentions that might from time to time crop up in your mind, and you understand, you identify with mindfulness that these are wrong intentions. If you are able to understand this, that is your wisdom. That is your right view. that you are gradually developing. Like if you can at a given moment, when you are mindful, if you are mindful, with wisdom you can identify these thoughts, these mental states, that the ability to discern is your right view. So in this way, that is wrong intention. What is right intention? Right intention is twofold again. Just like right view, right intention is also twofold. There is the mundane right intention. That means if you practice that, you acquire merits. Okay, then there will be good results of that also. So what is this mundane right intention? That is renunciation of sensual pleasures, giving up the sensual pleasures. Okay, then the intention of non-ill will. Then you practice loving kindness instead, and you practice kindness, compassion. That is all mundane right intention. By doing so, you acquire merits. Practicing loving kindness, practicing kindness, compassion. What do? You acquire merits. You will have good benefits in your future life. It will bring you happiness. That is right intention. Is that clear? So if you refrain from pursuing sensual pleasures, if you give up anger, ill will, hatred, instead you practice loving kindness, if you give up cruelty, if you develop kindness, compassion, then what? That is developing right intention. And right intention is also super mundane. That is the mundane, that where you partake in merits, that you acquire merits and you experience good results in future. That is mundane right. What is super mundane, mundane right intention? What is super mundane right intention? That is when there are intentions that you practice, say you contemplate upon impermanence. You contemplate upon the foulness of the body. You contemplate upon the paticca the dependent origination. So these thought process, these intentions are super mundane because they help you to give up everything by understanding the reality of life. That is why it's called super mundane right intention. The mundane right intention helps you to cultivate merits, experience good results thereafter. But if you practice impermanence meditation, meditating on the four elements, or meditating on mindfulness of death, that meditation, Asubha meditation, all these things help you to directly develop wisdom, realize the truth of life. That is what super mundane right intention. And then again, Buddha explains how to develop right intention. One makes an effort to abandon wrong intention and to enter upon right intention. This is one's right effort. So with effort, you abandon wrong intention because now you know what wrong intentions are. Then you instill yourself, develop and cultivate what? Right intentions. What are right intentions? Mundane and super mundane. Loving kindness, no? Kindness,
Non-harming,
compassion,
non-harming,
yeah,
renunciation.
renunciation of the sensual pleasures. What is the super mundane aspect? Practicing impermanence meditation, contemplating open dependent origination, all this. These are super mundane right intention. So with effort, you abandon the wrong intentions and you cultivate and develop the right intentions. Mindfully one abandons wrong intention. Mindfully one enters upon and abides right. So there is always has to be mindfulness as well. Mindfulness has to be there all the time, or else you can't identify. So mindfully you abandon and develop. So that is mindfulness. Thus these three states run and circle around right intention. That is then right view, right effort, and right mindfulness. To cultivate all the factors of the path, always there has to be what? Right view, right effort, right mindfulness. Without mindfulness, without effort, without right view, that is without wisdom, you can't progress in the path. So these three always support. That's why it is said, run and circle around right intention, right effort, and right mindfulness. So then we come to right speech. Again, Buddha says, because hearing again, right view comes first. It is with right view you understand this is, it is with right view you understand this is wrong speech and this is right speech. So what is wrong speech? I think that we know. Huh? False speech.
Telling lies,
Yeah,
divisive
lies,
divisive
divisive
speech, harsh speech,
harsh
and
speech,
idle chattering.
idle
Idle.
chatter. Okay. So lies, you know, you understand. So divisive speech, how does it happen? What are the motives of divisive speech?
To divide friendships.
Yeah, that is one motive. And Buddha has pointed us another motive of divisive speech. You can like break friendships, create discord among people. That is one reason why people speak divisively. What else? Maybe we'll ask with someone who like don't switch on their cameras. Like there are two. Nimas and Rania, can you answer? Okay. Can you give answer? The other, someone answer like divisive speech.
Oh,
Device speech, the other motive of divisive speech.
maybe to gain something that you don't have.
For what? Gain?
Gain something that you don't have through like.
Through divisive speech? Yeah, it's correct. That's very correct. Who was that? I don't know. I can't see. Maybe. Anyway, that's answer is correct. For gain. Okay? If you want to gain something, if you want credit for yourself, you will go tell that person is so and so. Think of a like office environment. If you tell on others to your superiors, so you gain credit, no? That person is so and so. And even the superior will use you for that person to get the gossip through you. So that is one purpose, one motive of divisive speech. That is to gain credit for
encourage
yourself.
others to lie
For
for you.
your own. Sorry?
Encourage others to lie for you.
Encourage others to lie for you. Yeah, like how that's how that connect with divisive speech though. We are asking the two motives for divisive speech. One is to create discord, break friendship, that is, and also the other is for your personal gain to speak divisively. Okay, that's the other aspect of it. So then, there are like if you do the opposite, that is thing like if you make people who are unfriendly friendly, create concord, then that becomes right speech.
Right.
Then there is harsh speech that you understand, and there is gossiping, idle chatter or gossip. Actually, idle chatter means everything. The like most of the talk a person nowadays talk is idle chatter, and by doing so, they accrue a lot of demerits. So think of your life if you were to divide the right speech and wrong speech in your life, what would be more? Is it right speech or wrong speech? Of course, a person might not lie as much, speak divisively, or harshly for that matter, but idle chatter is there. People delight in idle chatter, don't they?
Yes, Baba.
That is, yeah, that is why like, they can talk for hours idly. They freely talk even if they are not invited, but in the Dhamma discussion, even when invited, they don't talk. Okay? So if you engage yourself in a Dhamma discussion, what speech is that? That is right
Right.
speech. So that is like I only hear two people like the same ones answering. So you have to engage and practice right speech, because there are very few opportunities in this world to practice right speech. But idle chatter, it's always out there. Anyone, you can talk idly with any person, but you can't talk Dhamma with any person. Because only people who love Dhamma are there to listen to Dhamma and discuss Dhamma. The others will yawn. They will walk away. They will cringe when you talk Dhamma with them. Because they delight in what? Idle chatter. So that is why these Dhamma discussions, you have to engage in them. And that way you are also practicing right speech as well. So in that way, idle chatter. So these are all wrong speech. And what bhikkhus is right speech? Right speech, I say, is twofold. There is right speech that is affected by taints, partaking in merit, ripening in the acquisitions, and there is right speech that is again noble, taintless, and supermundane, a fact of the path. So what is the right speech that is mundane right speech? That you abstain from false speech and you always speak the truth. You abstain from divisive speech. Then you speak the truth all the time. You encourage others to speak the truth. And then you use your speech to create friendship among others, to spread harmony and concord. You can use the speech. It's like if two people are harboring a grudge against each other, you can make them talk to them individually and make them friends once again. And in that way, you can acquire a lot of merits. Once I remember our teacher taught us one of his such merits, that how he made two monks who were on wrong terms for some reason. The incident is like there was this monastery. There was this monk who was 80 years old. So this monk had been in the forest for many years, say 80 years old, think. So for many years he has been in the forest alone. And he was a very good meditator as well. He practiced anapanasati and he could stay in samadhi for many hours, 5-6 hours straight out. And this monk, Lokasans, had gone once to meet this monk, because in the early days when our teacher Lokasans was a young monk, he had also wanted to go to the forest. So he wanted some advice from a person who has been in the forest for a long period of time. So he went to this old monk and asked him, and he gave him advice. And also our teacher had gone to the forest and been there. And later, out of gratitude, he visited the same old monk at the temple, went there to visit him. But that monk had left the temple, the old monk. Then our teacher, Loksan, had asked around from the other monk, what happened? Why did he leave? He's the eldest monk in the monastery. So the other monks told, okay, what happened is our teacher's name is Jnananand, Bhante Jnananand. He left because there was a young monk here, because this young monk, he got angry all the time. There was some dispute among the two. And he couldn't bear to see the young monk. The old monk couldn't bear to see him. He said, like, when I see this person, I get angry. So I better not stay here. And he left the place. So the young monk is there, but the elderly monk went. And he's now living on his own. And now there is no friendship, but there's hatred there. They are no longer friends. But there's deep-seated anger, hatred among the two. And none of the other monks were going to do anything about it. They thought, like, we can't help. That's how it is. That's their karma. But our teacher thought, no, this is not a good thing. That's an old monk. If he dies now in this state of anger, His whole life being in the forest, doing meditation, all that will be in vain. Because if you harbor such a grudge and anger towards another monk, surely after death, you will be born in hell. So he first befriended the young monk. Our teacher said the young monk was a bit arrogant, but he first befriended the young monk and they become good friends. Then our teacher said, look, uh, we have to have compassion toward the old monk. Like he had been in the forest for many years in meditation, but now he is angry with you. If he keeps clinging on to that anger, surely after death he will be born in hell. And you will also repent that you didn't make out with him, you didn't make good with him. So let's go talk to him. So somehow our teacher was able to uh, make him agree to go see the old monk. So they had gone. He had lived in a cave somewhere, I think, up in the forest. So they had gone to meet that old monk. And first our teacher has approached, leaving the young monk behind. Teacher went and talked to the old monk, and this, after a bit of amiable talk, then he said, okay, I have also come with that monk. The young monk, I have come with them. Just when he said the word, he got angry. Why the hell did you bring him as well? Why did you bring him over? I don't want to see him. Like us, he didn't want even to see him, meet him. But our teacher said, no, he's a young monk and you are a very elder monk with lot of good qualities, kindness, compassion. If you don't forgive him as a young monk, it is not good for him, his monk's life. So therefore, please forgive him. And he is also ready to ask for forgiveness. So in this way, after a moment, the old monk agreed. So our teacher again went to the young monk and said, look, just go and excuse, ask for forgiveness, don't say anything else, he will forgive you. So he went and then he worshipped, and the older monk also forgave him and blessed him. And until the old monk died thereafter, he is the one who attended to the old monk. He saw to all the needs of the old monk. And they were best friends thereafter. Why? Because our teacher practiced what? Right speech. So that is how you develop right speech. Without creating discord, you create concord. In the suttas, it says, if when Sangha, like in this case, when the Sangha there's discord among the Sangha, if you create concord, then that come alone will bring about birth in the heavenly world for eon's time. For an eon, you will be reborn in the heavenly worlds by that karma. Because creating concord among Sangha create very powerful karma. If you create discord, what happens? If you create schism among Sangha, straight away you are born in hell. Another Anantariya Papa karma, heinous act. And eon's time you will be in hell. If you create concord, harmony among Sangha, you will be in the heavens for the eon's time again. So that's how it works. So with this speech, you can do good and bad. It works both ways. And it is very difficult to control your speech because we are always talking. Always we are talking. We can refrain from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. That's rather easy. But the talk, that is why you need mindfulness. That is why you need effort throughout if you are to practice right speech. So in this way, super mundane right speech, which you totally give up front speech, and you only talk on the Dhamma. So that is super mundane. The Arahants, the true practitioners of the path, they don't speak anything else other than the Dhamma. That is why Buddha said for the monks, when you get together, either meditate in silence or talk of Dhamma. That's all you have to do. Only those two. That is practicing right speech. So mindfully, you have to abandon wrong speech and cultivate, develop right speech with effort. Then again, here Buddha says, these three states run and circle around right speech, that is right view, right effort, and right mindfulness. Supported by these three: right view, right effort, and right mindfulness, you cultivate and develop right speech. Then right actions. Here again, Buddha says it is with right view that you discern what is wrong view and what is right view. And what is actually wrong view or wrong action? Sorry, wrong action and right action. What are wrong actions? Someone. Wrong actions you do.
Killing
Wrong.
beings.
Killing living beings.
Killing
Yeah.
beings,
Killing
stealing,
living
sexual
beings, stealing,
misconduct.
And sexual
engaging in sexual misconduct. They are wrong actions. Then right action is again twofold. That means you actually refrain from killing living beings, sexual misconduct, and stealing. So that is right action. So we are all today suffering because of what? These wrong actions. People suffer in this life and the next life as well. So if you steal, if you kill, you end up in jail for many years and you suffer in this life. And after death, you are again born in hell worlds. You suffer. You suffer a lot because of these actions. So that is why Buddha encouraged us to give up killing, give up stealing, give up sexual misconduct, and abstain from this. And do you remember the story of Isidasi? Isidasi in a past life, you know Arahant Isidasi?
Yes.
She became an Arahant later on, but before that, after she became an Arahant, she recollected her past life. And in a past life, she had engaged in sexual misconduct. And see, in this way, like this is how it is in the Therigatha. She says like this, Arahant Isiddhas says, I can recollect my last 7 births. So she could recollect the last 7 births. The pain I have been experienced was as a result of an evil action done by me in those past lives. I will explain it to you. Please listen attentively. 7 lives ago in the city of Erakacha, I was a wealthy goldsmith. So in that life, he was a gent, a man, a wealthy goldsmith. Intoxicated by pride in my youth, I engaged in sexual misconduct with the wives of others. Okay, he engaged in sexual misconduct. When I passed away from that life, now see the consequences, I immediately fell into hell. Straight away, he was born in hell. I was boiled in hell for a long time. Once I escaped from the life in hell, I was reborn in the womb of a female monkey. So hell world to the animal world. 7 days after my birth, an elder monkey, the leader of the herd, castrated me. This was the result of that evil action of seducing the wives of others. See, wrong action, sexual misconduct, how you suffer. Then thereafter I passed away from that life, the monkey life, and I was reborn in the womb of a one-eyed, lame female goat in the Sindhava forest, born as a female goat. There too I was castrated. Even in the case of goats, they castrate. I walked for 12 years carrying kids on my back. My wound was worm infested and the disease worsened. That means once castrated, there was a wound there because of the castration, and that was infested with worms. And the disease worsened and he died from that alone. It is. This was the result of that evil action of seducing the wives of others. Still the karma doesn't expand. Then I passed away from that life and was reborn in the womb of a cow belonging to a cattle dealer. I was a reddish calf. In the 12th month after my birth, I was castrated. Even in the case of calves, they are castrated to preserve their energy. I plowed the earth, dragging a heavy plow and pulling a heavy cart. I became blind and diseased. This was the result of that evil action of seducing the wives of others. That is why he blindly engaged in sexual misconduct. Therefore, in that life was blind. Then I died. Uh, I died in my 30th year. I suffered a lot. I was reborn as a little girl into a poor carter's family that had little wealth and was greatly oppressed by creditors. Then, because of their large unpaid debt, a caravan leader took me forcefully from my family and dragged me away screaming. Then, in my 16th year, in that life, the marriageable age, the caravan leader's son named Giridasa took me as his wife. He had another wife he was virtuous and possessed of good qualities. She was very loyal towards her husband. I became jealous of her and made our husband angry towards her. It was my own sexual misconduct and jealousy that resulted in my husband's rejecting me in this life. That is before she became an Arhat. In this life, as a lady, she was rejected by her husbands. No matter how well she treated them. Although I served them like a servant, it says here. Servant girl, but now I have destroyed entirely all the results of those evil actions. Like he tended to the husbands like a servant with all the due respect in this life, but no one wanted to keep her as husband. Why? Because the jealousy and of course the sexual misconduct. So see, one life of right wrong action, that means engaging in sexual misconduct, say like for the pleasure of that contact of sexual misconduct, it may be say in one life, say a person engaging in sexual misconduct, how many hours that would be? Say 1,000 hours. But how long did he suffer? Did she suffer in this life? In many lives, in the hell world, the animal world, again and again. So that is how the karma, when the consequences are there, it is not going to be easy. There's a lot of suffering. So that is why you have to abstain, give up wrong actions. And you do with that effort. If a person engages in sexual misconduct, if you want to give that up, then there has to be the right view first. You should understand this is the wrong thing I am doing. Then there has to be great effort to give that up, that pleasure. And there has to be mindfulness. Mindfully, with effort, you give that up and you develop right action. So in this way, these three states run and circle around right action. That is right view, right effort, and right mindfulness. Then right livelihood. Again, with right view, discern between the wrong and right livelihoods. So what is wrong livelihood? What is wrong livelihood? Can someone say?
Butcher.
Wrong livelihood?
So being like a weapons dealer, trading people, creating businesses where you're killing animals.
Yeah.
Butcher.
All ways and means by which you earn, like illegal earnings, unlawful earnings, all the scheming, planning to acquire things that belongs to others in illegal ways and means. And here we are all suffering at the moment because of this pandemic. Why? Because of wet markets. Wet markets are places where live animals are sold. So see, these things, right, wrong livelihoods, they affect you as a person, as an individual, and also the world at large. Drug trafficking, slave trade, all of these are wrong livelihood that you have to give up. And you live a right livelihood. You earn a fair living, a way of living by the Dhamma, so you don't harm yourself or the people of the world. That is right livelihood. So that is again mundane and super mundane. Super mundane means you give that up totally. In the case of the monks, so there is also right livelihood. How do monks practice livelihood? In the Milinda Panya, it is said once, when monks go to arms, They don't go very close to the house when they go for Pindapata, nor do they stay very far away. There is a certain distance by which you should be there. Like you are not forcing yourself upon them. They have the choice to give or not. So you have to keep your distance. And it is said, like if you made the gesture of a peacock, peacock, they like suddenly they look up, like they straying their neck and look. So you can't do that if you are a monk. Like thinking, may they see me. When you go for Pindapata, if you do that, even that is wrong livelihood, says the sutta. In that Milinda Panya, Arhan Nagasena says, even if you do that, that is wrong livelihood for a monk. And if you gesture with your eyebrows, okay, serve me something, that is also wrong livelihood. If you gesture with your chin, offer me something, like you can say, to the patra, you can gesture by your chin. That is also wrong livelihood. Likewise, in the case of the monks in the time of the Buddha, they had very pure livelihood. Like we learned before in the case of Arahant Sariputta, where he refused to have the herbs, the kanji that was prepared for him because it was gained by wrong means by influencing another person. So he didn't have it. That's right livelihood of the Arahants. So in this way, with effort you abandon right livelihood, wrong livelihood, and foster and develop right livelihood with mindfulness. Then in this way again, right livelihood you develop with based on right view, right mindfulness, and right effort. So now how many factors are complete in that person who develop these qualities in this manner? How many factors? Tell me. How many factors of the Noble Eightfold Path have been completed if a person, as we discussed, have practiced up to this point? Anyone?
7.
7. Okay. 7. Any other answers?
5.
That's Minupa. Minupa thinks it's 5. Any more?
I want to say 7 because we include the effort and mindfulness as well for each of the factors.
Asan says it's 7. So 7 is the correct answer, okay? Because right view was there right from the beginning, right view, and to develop each of the factors, that is right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, we practice it together with what? Right view, right effort, and right mindfulness. So all throughout, when you practice, then you have to have right effort, right mindfulness, and right view. You are guided with wisdom. Wisdom is right view and mindfulness and effort. Thereby you develop right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood. Then 7 factors are complete. If we have 7, the 8th is what? What did you learn in the beginning? It is the
no
result
go
of these 7 supporting factors. No, then surely you will have right concentration, right samadhi. So if you want to develop samadhi, then you have to develop these qualities. Without developing these qualities, you can't have right samadhi. You can't develop concentration. Then Buddha says, there because right view comes first. And how does right view come first? In one of right view, right intention comes into being. In one of right intention, right speech comes to be. In one of right speech, right action comes to be. Then right livelihood comes to be. Then right effort comes to be. Right mindfulness comes to be. Right concentration comes to be. In one with right concentration, right knowledge comes into being. In one of right knowledge, right deliverance comes into being. Thus, bhikshus, the path of the disciple in higher training possesses 8 factors. The Arahant possesses 10 factors. When the 8 is complete, fulfilled, cultivated, and developed to the fullest extent, then you get right knowledge and right liberation. Then you are an Arahant. So, then with regard to now we discussed 10 factors now. And Buddha goes on to say how it becomes 40. 4 into 10, it's 40. So what are the 4 aspects therein? Therein, because right view comes first. And how does right view comes first? In one of right view, wrong view is abolished. Okay. What does a person with right view does? He abolishes the wrong view. And the many evil, unwholesome states that originate with wrong view as condition are also abolished. And the many wholesome states that originate with right view as condition comes to fulfillment and development. There is 4, no? What is? With right view, he understand. Okay, he understand this is wrong view and right view, so he develops and instills himself in right view. And the many evil, unwholesome states that originate with wrong view as condition are abolished. And the many wholesome states that originate with right view as condition come to fulfillment and development. It's 4. So he abandons wrong view, develops right view. Abandons is 1. Developing, instill oneself in the wrong view, right view is 2nd. 3rd is whatever unwholesome things that may have arisen because of your wrong view. All those unwholesome states are abolished. Whatever wholesome states that might be cultivated and fulfilled because of your right view that now you have, all those can be developed. That's 4. Okay. It's the same with right intention. In one of right intention, wrong intention is abolished. And the many evil, unwholesome states that originate with wrong intention as condition are also abolished. And the many wholesome states that originate with right intention as condition come to fulfillment and development. Okay? There is abandoning of the wrong intention, cultivating of the right intention. 3rd is all the unwholesome that there might have been because of your wrong intentions, they are abolished. All the wholesome you can develop because now you have instilled yourself in right intention, they can be developed. Again, 4. So in the same way, can anyone say with regard to right speech, how the 4 works? Right speech?
Let me try Bante. One with right speech, he abandons wrong speech. So that's no. We abandon wrong speech and cultivate right speech. That's true. The third
That's
one
true.
was the third one is whatever things that will cause that wrong speech, he abandoned it, and whatever things that will make into right speech, that he cultivate that one. Am I right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Right, correct. Then what about right action? Someone else? Right action?
He abandoned the wrong actions, then cultivate the right actions, and all the unwholesome actions to be removed, all the wholesome actions develop.
Very good. Right effort. Someone else? Right effort? Shall I call that your name?
So the person abandons the wrong effort and develops the right effort. Then whatever unwholesome states were like he had with the wrong effort are abandoned, and whatever wholesome states weren't developed prior are developed.
Very good. So Lahansi and Ishura can try right mindfulness. You want to answer? Right mindfulness. Someone else then? Right mindfulness. Asel? Asel, what about you? Can you try?
Okay, so with right mindfulness, wrong mindfulness is abandoned, and then cultivate the right mindfulness, and then unwholesome states with the wrong mindfulness are abolished, and the wholesome states with the right mindfulness are developed.
Very good, very good. Neda, you want to try? Right concentration?
Sure, I try one. So wrong mindfulness is abandoned, then right mindfulness is developed. So all the unwholesome states that are developed by wrong mindfulness are also abandoned, and then the wholesome states developed by right mindfulness are developed.
Okay, excellent. Right concentration. Ray, you want to try? Ray, can you hear me? Right concentration, or someone else? Okay. Right concentration is again, you abandon the wrong concentration, you develop right concentration. Whatever unwholesome state there might have arise because of wrong concentration, they are abandoned. And whatever wholesome you can develop and fulfill because of right concentration, all that can be developed. So in this way, that's it. Then there's right knowledge. What is wrong knowledge then? What is wrong knowledge? Tell me what is wrong knowledge? Michya jnana? Everything we learn as science and all other education systems, that's wrong knowledge. Why? Because it doesn't help us to develop the wholesome. Because all these science and technological advancements have not helped us to progress in the noble path or to develop our good wholesome qualities in life, the humane aspect of life. Rather, they have created more and more havoc in this world, defiled our states of mind. So that is wrong knowledge. So you abandon wrong knowledge and you develop right knowledge. So then there is right deliverance. What is wrong deliverance? There, right deliverance and wrong deliverance. Right deliverance is, of course, by practicing the noble path to the fullest extent. So what is wrong deliverance? Say you are. So wrong deliverance is you are with some problem, and you find a solution for that. You think, oh, it's okay. Now the problem is solved. You think that is an escape from suffering. Is that an escape from suffering? No, that is a temporary respite that you have got. Again, there will be around the corner something else, another problem. So say a person was in prison and he was released after some time. And he thought, oh, okay, I escaped. It's end. That's wrong deliverance. That is not the case. So in this way, right deliverance is when you put an end to the suffering once and forever. So with regard to these 10 aspects in this way, it's fourfold that you have to understand, and 4 into 10, it's 40. So that is why this sutta is called the Great 40. And in the end, it says here, thus because there are 20 factors on the side of the wholesome and 20 factors on the side of the unwholesome. Okay, that's clear, no? So 20 and 20, 40. 40 has, then Buddha says, is 40. This has been set rolling. This Dhamma discourse on the Great 40 has been set rolling and cannot be stopped by any recluse or Brahmin or God or Mara or Brahma or anyone in the world. Once Buddha has sown this path and expounded it, it cannot be stopped. No one can in this world stop it. Brahmin, Mara, Brahma, anyone who practice and practice this path will surely, because it's like a stream. The Noble Eightfold Path is the stream. Once you have entered the stream, surely you will end up in where? The stream, all the rivers, they end up in the ocean. Likewise, you will also end up in culminating in Nibbana, your journey. That is the nature of the path, the Noble Eightfold Path. That is why it is called the path to happiness, the ultimate happiness, the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Then Buddha says, Because if any recluse or Brahmin thinks that this Dhamma discourse on the Great 40 should be censored and rejected, then there are 10 legitimate deductions from his assertions that would provide grounds for censoring him here and now. If a person were to reject these Dhamma factors, these 10 factors, then he will be rejected by the public at large. Why? If a person rejects right view, then Buddha says, then he would honor and praise those recluse and Brahmins who are of wrong view. If a certain person is rejecting right view, then what is he praising? He's praising wrong view. Then therefore he will be blamed, accused of that. If that worthy one censors right intention, then he would honor and praise those recluses and Brahmins who are of wrong intention. If that worthy one censors right speech, likewise, if he censors right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, right knowledge, right deliverance, and with any of these factors, 10 factors, then he will be in turn accused. If you are rejecting the right path, then you are praising and honoring the wrong path. So that is how it is. Buddha says you can't censor or reject this path shown by the Buddha. And Buddha goes on to say, because even those teachers from Okkala, Vassa and Banya, that is some teachers that lived in the time of the Buddha, who held the doctrine of non-causality, the doctrine of non-doing, and the doctrine of nihilism, would not think that this Dhamma discourse on the Great 40 should be censored and rejected. Why? Because for fear of blame, attack and confutation, that they will be confronted and blamed and accused and rejected from the general public, because no one can with good reason stand against this, talk against these 10 factors, the noble eightfold path shown by the Buddha, and in this case the 10 factors Arahant cultivates and develops in oneself. So this is the Sutta, the Mahacattarisaka Sutta, the Great 40. So may we also have the good fortune to develop these qualities within our life and one day realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, if there are questions, you can ask now. Any questions?
Bante, may I
Yeah.
please ask you how can Bante explain one more time how do we develop from the mundane right view into that noble right view, Bante? How do we transition that again, Bante, please?
Yeah, like for that to happen, you have to say like the path itself. First, it is virtue. There are 3 segments in the path. No? Virtue, then you develop concentration, then wisdom. So you base yourself with the mundane aspects of the right view,
right,
where you acquire a lot of merits, where you develop good wholesome qualities, and then you practice virtue. And also, while you practice virtue, you practice sense restraints, you develop mindfulness. That is, then you practice samadhi. When you do all these things, while you are doing these things, then you always also practice the supermundane aspects based on these things. That means you practice impermanence meditation, asubha meditation, you contemplate upon dependent origination. Then one day you will see the impermanent things as impermanent, things subject to suffering as suffering, things that are non-self as non-self, as opposed to seeing them as happiness, permanent, and self. So that realization, with that realization, you will gain right view. Once you have gained right view in your life, there will always be right intention to some extent. Right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. Then you keep developing the same aspects gradually, methodically, and over time they will gradually come into fulfillment. Then you will
Right.
become a once returner, non-returner, and arahant. So clear?
Right. Yes, Bante. So it's gradually from, so the intensity from when you are Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhat, they all are cultivating the same thing, but you know, in order to go to the next stage, is the intensity of the
Intensity.
the level of the
Yeah, the level.
cultivation.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Same
Bante.
aspects, but different levels.
Yes, Bante. Thank you, Bante.
Ante, so
Yeah.
in the Eightfold Path, you don't just practice 1 to 8. Do you try to practice them all at once, or is it in numerical order?
Well, it's all at once actually. As you understand in the beginning, right in the beginning, when you're practicing right view, there was right mindfulness, right effort. That is like 6 and 7 factors. When you practice right intention, then again there was right effort, right mindfulness, and right view. So it's all together. Okay. And in the meantime, you practice meditation as well. You never know when this, because when the supporting conditions are there, then you might be able to meditate more easily and maybe attain first jhana, then second jhana. So it's a gradual process. You have to focus on all the aspects. Then gradually these things grow. Okay. You don't want, you can't like to single out one factor and keep focusing on that. Like as you see, these things work together in harmony, and gradually your qualities grow over time. That means your virtue grows, concentration grows, wisdom grows. That's how it happens. Because all these things are internal qualities. How your life changes gradually over time with the practice, by living in accordance with the Dhamma. Because we can't force this. What we can do is, why can't we force it? Because there is no self. What we can do is to develop the qualities. Once you develop the qualities, when the causes are there, the effects, the results will be there. That's all you can do. That's not all you should do, is to focus on what you have to do, is to cultivate these qualities, to practice. Then the results will be done. Just like the simile, where the hen had to incubate the eggs. Even if it is for not, if it does incubate the eggs, then one day the chicks will hatch out. That will happen eventually. Likewise, you have to keep practicing until you reap the benefits. Any other questions? So Lahansi and Isuda, you have questions? No? Okay. Anyone else?
Bante, can I ask you one last question, maybe? Bante, I would like to ask Bante about this intention, wrong intention. Bante, do we create karma when we have wrong intention? Let's say we have intention to harm, that will create bad karma to Bante? Because let's say Bante, somebody has intention to kill Bante, it's a wrong intention to harm, but then on the other hand, there's one sutta says that in order to create karma, to kill, to break that precepts, to get the bad karma, you need few factors too, right, Bante? You need the intention to kill, and then there's a a living being, and so forth, Bante.
Yeah. That's with regard to right action. When it come to right intention, intentions, you have to be mindful about the thought process. That is why then and there you have to abandon such evil thoughts. Okay, because it is the intentions that later on turns out to be actions. So that is why you have to abandon wrong intentions such as killing or harming others, whatever. Was that the question?
Yeah, no, so we create bad karma too, Bante, when we have wrong intention?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Chetanaham bhikkhave kammam vadami. Intention is volition, said the Buddha. Intention is the karma. Karma is intention. Volition is karma.
Okay.
If there is a Buddha said anything, then thereby you thought and intention are different. Intention is something stronger. There can be fleeting thoughts and that doesn't create karma. There has to be
Okay.
intention. There has to be volition. And if you keep thinking angry thoughts, thoughts of anger, thoughts of ill will, thoughts of harming others, if you cultivate, foster, even if you have not acted upon it, that is an unwholesome state of the mind and there will be karma. Okay?
Right. But Bante, when you say fleeting thought, that means sometimes, all of a sudden some bad thoughts just pass by. That one doesn't create bad karma, Bante.
No. If you like cling to it and linger upon it, that
will create karma.
That will create karma. Thought and intention is slightly different there.
Okay. So it's just fleeting thought coming and going. That doesn't create bad karma, Bante.
Yeah, like you have to you have to accept it and harbor it and you have to pursue it.
Okay, that creates, right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
I just
one moment, I just checked and checked the chat and Lahansi and Nishura, their mic is not working, so they exist. Okay, I just checked the chat. So anyone else questions? Yes, so ask. Someone wanted to ask?
Bhante,
Right. Okay.
Oh, go ahead with the question in the chat.
One more.
On the chat says, Bhante, how do I help another person with this?
Bhante, how do I help another person with their suffering? Depends on what. Can you be more specific? You can't like say the suffering in the sense.
Namo Buddhaya Bhante. Namo Buddhaya. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yes.
Okay, yeah, so I'm just going to explain my question here. So what I'm trying to ask is if one person is suffering because of a personal issue, right? And they have like they're not doing well personally, right? Something happened in their family. So how do I help in that case? I know that they're suffering in front of me. I see them like crying. I see them like being very just suffering in general, like really sad event. So how do I help that person in this case?
Well, yeah, there are various ways by you can just one is you can support them by say worldly things. If there's something you need, you can give or share with them, that can help. If it is a mental aspect, then you have to make them understand the cause of suffering, that is craving, when you cling to certain things, when you desire certain things. Likewise, if you can make them understand the root cause, but in any case, when a person is suffering, the root cause should always be craving, attachment. So try to make them understand of the impermanence of the life and how impermanence, the change, cause us to suffer, and how we do not have control over what's happening us. And then try to teach them the Dhamma gradually. So then that broadens their perspective of life and they can see the bigger picture. It is our narrow-minded state that make us difficult to understand and cope with certain situations, because we have self-view. When we face a problem, we always think in the pattern of that we think like we are the only one suffering in this world. We are the center of this problem. And that certainly, when you think in that manner with self-view, that overwhelms you. When that overwhelms you, then you further become engrossed in that suffering. You can't get rid of that suffering. So you have to broaden their mindset, the way they think. So for that, you have to teach them the Dhamma. And you can help by being there for them and trying to discuss matters, and talking with another person helps a lot. and you can share your wisdom, the wisdom you have gained by the teachings of the Buddha with them. And then by doing so, you can broaden their mind and open their mind to thinking in a different pattern, because it is ayoniso manasikara, that means the wrong way of thinking that creates suffering. That's fuels suffering in our life. If you change the way you think, then you can change the way you feel and experience. So try to help them in that manner by teaching them the Dhamma and teaching them a new way of thought. That is Dhamma actually. That is wise consideration. That is thinking according to the teachings of the Buddha. So in that way, you can be there for them. You can reach out to them. You can help them and alleviate their suffering to some extent. Okay, I think that.
Thank you, Bante.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, then we will stop. Yes, any question? Yeah.
Yes, but so with what Linda said, so if you have a bad thought and you dwell on it, then it's bad karma. But if you have a bad thought and you change it around, would it be good karma?
Yeah, like say thoughts come and go. Once the thoughts come to your mind, if you accept and then you think upon that and you think again and again, you foster that thought, then there is the intention and the karma accrued there. Like then when the thought comes to your mind, if you mindfully identify and abandon that thought, and then abandoning a wrong thought is then you have to replace it with something good. With regard to everything today we learn, what we did is we abandoned wrong view by instilling ourselves in the right view. We abandon wrong speech by instilling ourselves in the right speech. We always abandon the bad and cultivate the good. You have to replace the bad with the good. So if you replace bad thoughts, unwholesome thoughts with the good, of course, that is the practice, that is the Dhamma, that create good karma, that create merits, that purifies your mind. Does that help? Okay.
But Bante, just one follow-up. So there should have no offsetting. Say, for example, there is the bad intention and suddenly there's a good intention. Although the bad intention creates the karma already, then suddenly there's a good intention. So is there a way to offset? Is that a way it works or not?
Sorry, repeat that again. If there's bad intention.
Okay. So example, so if there is a bad intention, so this person creates a bad karma already, then suddenly he thinks positively and he changes it. So there's a good intention and there's a good karma. So what I'm saying is, does it mean that they can offset each other, or the bad karma will still have the bad consequence some other time and the good will have good consequence, or they can just offset each other and neutralize?
No, that doesn't happen. Like
that doesn't work.
Yes.
Yes.
Offset, yeah. Like the bad intentions will have their results, that bad karma, that consequence, and good intentions have the good consequences. But there is a way that it does offset when you practice, say, super mundane intentions, when you practice impermanence, when you practice, say, foulness meditation and vidarsana, that insightful meditation. When you practice that, what happens? You generate certain karma that can offset the bad karma. That is one way. When you practice insight meditation, what happens is your wisdom grows. And when your wisdom grows, when you become a stream mentor, all the bad karma you have accrued that may have come to being in the 4 bad destinations. Okay, they are eradicated. All the karma, bad karma you have done, that is eradicated. That is what happens when you gradually progress in the path. When you become a stream mentor, when you become a non-retainer, all the karma that you have accrued that may have brought about rebirth in the sensual realms, they are eradicated. Not all
Okay,
states are eradicated to super mundane right intention. Okay.
I see. I see. Thank you,
That,
Bante. Thank you.
okay. Okay, now we will stop for today. Okay, like 2 hours we took for today. So all the merits today we have acquired myself and yourself by listening to the Dhamma and discussing Dhamma and learning. We will share all these merits today we have acquired first with all the Devas and the Brahmas of the world, and may they all realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And also, may all the merits today we have acquired be shared with all the long lost relatives of ours in this life and also throughout the sansaric journey, and may they too realize the Four Noble Truths as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may also these merits be shared with our teacher who taught us this Dhamma out of kindness and compassion, and may he also fully realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may also these merits be shared with all the monks of the Mahavina meditation monasteries, the Anagarika, the ordination aspirants, and may they too realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may also these merits be for all of us, our teachers, our parents, our loved ones, our relatives, and may all of us have the good fortune to acquire more and more merits in this Buddha's dispensation, practice the noble path, and realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we shall ask for forgiveness from the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acchayang kamame bante bodhipanya tathagata. Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acchayang kamame dhamma sanditthika akanika. Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acchayang kamame sangha punyakketang anuttara. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, now we will share merits and worship Bante. Say after me. Okasa Vandami Bante.
Okasamawan Bante.
Maya Katam Punya Samina Anumokya.
Ya Bhantya.
Samina Katam Punya Maya Datam.
Ya Bhantya. Ya Bhantya.
Sadhu, sadhu, anumodami. Katam Sabdang Achyam Kamatami Bhante. Okasa Kamami Bhante. Nitiyampi Okasa Kamami Bhante. Satiyampi Okasa Kamami Bhante. May we all have the good fortune to realize the Four Noble Truths. Everyone Saranai, Namo Buddhaya.
No, but that's
Namo Buddhaya, Bante.
Bye, Bante.
Daya. Thank you.